Hey Meno Warriors, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel where you can expect weekly videos from me on a Monday. I talk all things perimenopause and menopause and just healthy midlifing. Today I'm actually going to be talking about how to know if you're moving into perimenopause. It's a question I get asked loads, so I thought I'd cover it and go over some of the common symptoms and some of the less common symptoms so that you can get a feel for whether it might be applicable to you. It is really hard to actually have a test to know whether you're actually going into perimenopause. So I hope this might help sort of give you some clarity on that. And if it's the first time you've come across me, welcome to my page. I help instill belief in you that perimenopause and menopause, while it might be slightly challenging, can help us thrive and become an even better individual than we were before perimenopause kicked in. It's happened to me, it's happened to loads of other ladies that I work with. If you're feeling stuck in the doom and gloom and the rut of life and it's all getting on top of you, please have hope. Message me if you need support. I'm here to help, is what I love doing. And I hope the wind blowing in here is not going to be too distracting, but it's really, really hot. Hence the really cool and groovy hairdo today. So we'll get started. So what is perimenopause? It's the time when your normal periods start to become slightly more erratic. And the perimenopause can actually last up to about 10 years. So it's the transition from just trotting along nicely, having your monthly cycle, to things starting to go slightly strange. Now, if you suddenly start getting very heavy periods or they kind of never seem to stop, please just go and get checked in case it's something like fibroids. Perimenopause would imply that your periods are going to become more erratic. So you might go for 2 or 3 months and have nothing, and then all of a sudden you might have like a sort of a ninja period for 6 weeks, and it's, you know, that's at the extreme. But your periods are going to become more erratic. If you're concerned, just go and get a second opinion on it. It's well worth doing, just in case it's fibroids or something along those lines that needs treating and can be easily treated. So perimenopause really, on the whole, can start around your mid-30s. I went through mine early. When I went to the doctor once, I can't remember what I was going for, but I think I was 38 and I was well into it by then, and they just said no, it's not, you know, you're not old enough. It's like, yes, I was. I'm about to be 52 in 7 days time, and I'm well into my menopause. It's not a race. When it happens, it happens. And I think there's a lot of resistance about the menopause. Yes, there are symptoms that can make you feel pretty pants. However, there are things that we can do and we can support ourselves. And if you're willing to take action and make a few changes, your trip through the perimenopause and the menopause is going to be a whole lot better. If you need HRT, go and get HRT. I'm not against or for it. I've never taken it myself. I didn't feel I needed it, but I know ladies that do the lifestyle stuff and need that extra help from HRT. So everybody experiences it entirely differently. There is a sort of genetic factor too. I think if your mother, grandmother, other ladies in your family have managed through it fairly well, you stand a chance of getting through it fairly well. You might be the odd one out. If somebody's giving you a bashing about stop being lazy and just shake yourself up, tell them where to go, because this is very real and you can feel pretty pants and awful on it. And it can have, I will go through the obvious symptoms and some of the not so obvious symptoms in a moment, but just know, give yourself grace. This is a transitory time of life. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and by informing yourself now, I mean, you're doing a great thing by watching this. In any case, you're kind of a step ahead. So normally it's going to last, it can start from your sort of mid-30s onwards. You might start earlier. If you've had a hysterectomy, you're going to start earlier. You know, all these sorts of things will have an effect, but on average, mid-30s to mid-40s is when it's likely to start. So I've already gone over periods. They can be erratic, they can get very light, and then they sort of dissipate. Nowadays, it used to be, until not long ago, if you'd had no period for a year, you were then termed menopausal. Menopause typically marks the 12 months since the day of your last period. And then beyond that, you're post-menopausal. A lot of people now are saying it's 2 years, to have 2 years completely clear of no period at all. And then you're you're postmenopausal. Ironically, to me, it happened 2 years on the trot. I had nearly a whole year clear, and bang, I got a period. And both times I was making a big trip across Europe with a lot of gear and camping stuff, and my kids were small and there was a lot on my shoulders, and it was probably stress that set it off. Happened to me twice. So I might have had my I might have gone through my menopause, my one day, 2 years earlier than I actually did if I hadn't had those 2 fluke periods. So just know there is no linear trip through the menopause. So yeah, we'll go through. Periods might become more erratic. You might get some really unexplained symptoms. You find as our estrogen levels drops, things start to get drier. So you might have dry eyes, you might get burning mouth sensation. You might have noticed an increase in tooth decay because as our saliva levels are dropping in the mouth, obviously saliva helps to keep the mouth clean, it's antibacterial, that kind of thing. So you may have noticed you've got more tooth issues going on, or gum inflammation. Just stay on top of your dentist appointments, because as we go through the perimenopause, things dry up, unfortunately. Same with vaginal atrophy, vaginal dryness. You might find that intercourse actually gets painful. Find a lube that is as natural as possible, that suits you. Things like coconut oil, completely natural, no additives, and can serve a really useful purpose. You might need to get some Hypromelose eye drops just to sort of give them a bit of refresher in the morning. I actually have eye drops that I just pop in the morning, and it just sort of helps me get through the day. I work looking at a computer screen a lot of the time as well. Generally, I don't need to have eye drops through the day, but definitely in the morning I do. One of my worst things was night sweats. Now, I had night sweats way before I even twigged that I might be going through the perimenopause, and they were awful. They were crushing. I would literally wake up drenched. And it's as well, I've been single for so long, because I would lie on a towel on one side of my bed, wake up, strip off, move the towel, get a dry towel, sleep on the other side of the bed, and then strip it all off and wash it and put it back on again for the following night. I went through that for ages, particularly when I was having the odd period or two. I'd run up to, in my last week before the period, that's when they hit really, really hard. And I'd been going through those for years. Didn't even think about it, actually. I just figured it was related to my period, but I'm pretty sure it was probably perimenopausal symptoms coming on. You might find that you're getting pins and needles. You might be having palpitations. There's a node in our heart which has estrogen receptors on it. So as our estrogen levels fall, that can give you palpitations too. Joint pains, random joint pains. You're not suddenly getting arthritic. It is largely down to the perimenopause. You might find that caffeine makes your joint pains worse. If you drink coffee, back off it for a bit and just see if your joint pains improve. I also find that having a vitamin E supplement helps with joint pains. I've talked about this before, but if you get a vitamin E supplement, get one that has the tocopherols and the tocopherols. Some supplements just have the tocopherols. You want them both, tocopherols and the tocopherols. Talking about a dry mouth. I get mine off Amazon. Have a look, see what's out there. But if you're getting joint pains, so try vitamin E. It's also really good for your skin, and it's one of those supplements that I do recommend to people going through the menopause. Hot flushes. 85% approximately of us get hot flushes. They were one of my worst symptoms as well. Again, as I've gone through, I've realized that when I'm thirsty, or if I think I'm thirsty, I have a hot flush. Coffee can give me one. Spicy food. If I'm hungry, I can get a hot flush. Booze, if I drink alcohol, I will definitely have more hot flushes through the night. Sugar will set off a hot flush. I try and avoid refined sugar pretty much completely, but if I do eat something sweet, it will bang, hot flush. They have got better as I've got older. In the earlier days, literally it would drip off me, it would fall down my back. It was disgusting, it was embarrassing, and they came out of the blue and there was no controlling it when they happened. And obviously went bright red. You can get tinnitus, you can get sensitive ears, you can get sore boobs. It's like, do you remember when your boobs started to grow? And it was just like, I always used to lie on my front until my boobs started to grow. It was just like, it was so painful. I honestly felt like I got 2 massive bruises on the front of my chest. Well, you can also go through that same situation. And as you go through perimenopause, you might find, I speak to a lot of women whose boobs have grown as they've gone through the menopause. You know, they've been relatively flat, what they referred to as flat chested through their younger years, and now they're menopausal and their boobs have grown. So if you've got some small chest and you want bigger boobs, you might get bigger boobs. You're likely to have falling libido because of the whole fact, you know, as well as our estrogen, testosterone's falling, progesterone's falling, all our hormones are erratic. You might find that your libido falls. So I think with something like that, just be really open with your partner and help them understand. It's often when I was flying helicopters, when you're sort of going through your original training, people say it's I can't remember what the official term is, but it's the error chain. It's not normally one thing that causes the catastrophe or the problem. It's a combination of things that build up to the mistake being made. And so with things like libido, it could be because another symptom is you might be losing confidence. You might be gaining weight. So again, you might be losing confidence. Your vagina might be dry because of the drying up of the mucous membranes. You might have sore joints and you just don't want to, you know, you just might be in pain. You might be having hot flushes and just feel uncomfortable in your skin. So it's not often just one individual thing. It can be a combination of stuff. You might be struggling with your sleep. So be really open with your partner about how you're feeling so that he or she can understand what you're going through, and just be a supportive help. And you'll find that if you've got that support and you've got that level of comfort, it will help you to feel those, you know, more sort of intimate, you want to get more intimate and feel more passionate towards each other. The sense of fatigue, a lot of people through perimenopause and beyond tell me how tired they feel, and it's not about you suddenly getting lazy. It does. It's the erratic hormones. When you're feeling fatigued, I think it's important to take time out for yourself. You might need to change your exercise regimen. You might need to pare it back a bit. I know, talk to so many ladies. I mean, obviously I'm in the health and fitness world. I speak to so many who like love the running and they love the cardio and they and they and I get sweaty and I feel amazing. But all of a sudden they're getting belly fat and they're feeling yucky. And while they do enjoy the cardio session, it's actually not serving them long term. Better to strength train. Definitely prioritize strength training. Small amount of cardio is great, but you don't want too much, because as we're going through all this, we want to try and remain peaceful and calm. There's enough stress going on. You know, our bodies try and balance themselves all the time. So while our hormones are erratic and also affects our blood sugar levels and the sort of foods that we want to eat and sort of drinks that we want to drink, the body's constantly trying to maintain this balance, and it's actually quite exhausting for the body itself. So give yourself grace. If you want help with your health and fitness and your nutrition, just message me. I will tell you what I use, and it's up to you if you want to follow that system. It works brilliantly. I must admit, I mean, like I say, I'm 7 days off my 52nd birthday, and I still have a bit of brain fog. I've set up systems to help me with brain fog, but beyond that, it's just like, yeah, ninja, mate, epic, love it. I feel better than I felt in years. So those are sort of a wide range of symptoms, some of them more familiar, some of them less familiar, that you're likely to feel. It's another one is anxiety. Now, I'm an anxiety specialist. I'm also a psychotherapist, and I specialize in anxiety. And even I, knowing how it could creep up and what to look for and how to manage it, I felt it happening to me too. It started in the early hours. I'd wake up and just feel like this really like sense of almost like doom and gloom coming over me. And it was just like, this is anxiety creeping up. What the heck's going on? Because I'm quite a chilled person normally. And I just felt really antsy. I almost felt like there was invisible things being prodded into me to make like electricity generate through my body. It was just a really weird feeling. And a lot of women say they struggle with confidence in the car. They get that anxiety, particularly on like challenging journeys, and that anxiety can feed in. And actually, some of them have turned into my psychotherapy clients because they're struggling to actually get out there and drive. And it's creating this sort of social anxiety that's building up. It doesn't have to be that way, but just acknowledge that if it's happening, one of the best things that you can do is do deep breathing. Whenever I have a client and I suggest it to them, they look at me as though I've fallen off a tree. It's just like, what you're telling me about breathing, I breathe every day. No, deep breathing is different. Therapeutic breathing, when you practice it, and you have to be disciplined with the practice. I think so many people say, oh, well, it's just breathing. Give me a pill, it's much more effective. No, deep breathing is fantastic when done properly. You want to breathe in slowly through your mouth, hold it for as long as you can, and breathe it out slowly through your mouth. And then hold it for a while you've got no breath in. And again, breathe in slowly through your nose, hold it for a while, and then breathe slowly out through your mouth. So in through your nose, hold it out through your mouth, and hold it empty for a while. Or box breathing. So pretty similar to that, but probably for 6 seconds, breathing it in, hold for 6 seconds, 6 seconds breathing it out, hold it out for 6 seconds, breathe it in for 6 seconds. So you're sort of doing like a box. It's easy to visualize that. If you're new to deep breathing, try the box breathing. It's a little bit easier. I have got a deep breathing, whatever it's called, guide. If you need that, let me know and I'll send that through to you. Actually, I'll drop a link to it beneath this video. If you're watching this on like Facebook or Instagram, just message me and I'll send it through. Or actually on Instagram, go to my free resources, click the link in my bio, it's in my free resources, Breathing for Health guide, that's the one. So make sure you are creating an environment which allows you some time out. It might just be 10 minutes reading something that you find uplifting or calming, motivational quotes, it might be relaxing music, it might just be meditating, it might be a walk out in nature. Identify the things that help you calm your nervous system, so that you can it'll help temper those times when you are feeling more anxious. I hear a lot of ladies saying they get so angry, just out of the blue angry for the most ridiculous things, just irritably angry. Again, it's totally normal. It's down to your swinging hormones, unfortunately. If you're practicing relaxation methods and you're making a bit of time for yourself during the day, how many of us like, we're busy, we prioritize everyone else, and then we get to the end of the day and we are absolutely deflated, have absolutely nothing left, and then you wake up and do the same again the next day. We're our own worst enemies. It's not selfish making time for self-care. You have to do it. You'll be a better human to those around you also if you make time for self-care. So if you've never done it before, prioritize it now. Even if you think you're not quite into perimenopause, but you're just sort of educating yourself, make time for self-care now. It's not about being selfish. It's not about saying, what, I'm doing nothing today, nor tomorrow, nor for the rest of the month. I'm just going to lie in bed and be fed grapes. It's not that. It's about doing the stuff you need to do, taking stuff or action on the stuff that's important, but also prioritizing a window of time every single day for your self-care. And that will help you manage those wild moments when they come creeping up upon you. It'll also help enhance your relationships. Weight gain is another one. You might find that you've been quite slender, quite fit. This happened to me. I was doing my own stuff, and this is actually what made me use the system that I'm using now. I was doing my own workouts, about 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. I was doing everything: hula hooping, fast swimming, running, even though I'm not a great runner, but I'm still running, and then weights, my own weight training. And it was quite good. It gave me reasonable muscle tone, but it didn't stop. My bum was going flatter, and I just felt like I was developing this barrel around my middle. But beyond that, it was just like, if somebody ever took a photo while we were out, I'd see it, and it's just like, I don't even like how I look. What's happened? Even if I tried to look nice, I didn't like how I felt and didn't like how I looked. And it was just like, God, what's happening? And that combined with falling confidence. And that is why I tell everyone who wants to hear it about what I do, because I work out for less time now. I'm getting great results. I've got some baggy skin on my belly, but that's because I had 2 large babies. It's not belly fat, it's just baggy skin. And I got my waist back, and I got a booty and all over muscle tone, and I've got energy, and I just feel really happy. I do drink. I have like a superfood shake every day. It contains protein. We need more protein as we get older. Contains adaptogen herbs. I absolutely swear by them. They help you manage your stress levels. They help you balance your hormones, and they actually give you energy. They digestive enzymes. Our gut health is so important for our mental health. So I swear by it. I would market it as a menopause superfood shake. It's not. It's a general one. It helps everyone, but I think specifically through menopause, I just, it's just, for me, it's an absolute no-brainer. So those things with the right exercise, so more strength training, but proper compound strength training, less of it. Right now I'm doing like 4 days a week, and the workouts are between 24 and 30 minutes long, and they are all no impact. And I'm getting amazing results, and I'm actually drinking more. I was teetotal, and I'm enjoying a few at the moment because we've had a range of celebrations. My birthday's coming up, and I don't know, just something lovely about a cold beer at the end of the day. So I'm drinking a bit more at the moment, but I'm still getting amazing results. So it works, and it works for people in my fit community too. So your sleep might also be impacting your weight gain. The hot flushes, the night sweats, the anxiety can have a negative impact on your sleep. And you'll find that when your sleep is negatively impacted, it actually affects your satiety hormones. So you might be reaching for the foods that you shouldn't really be reaching for the next day, and you might be eating more of them. It affects how full we feel, and it affects how hungry we feel. That's often, you know, if you do go out and you like have a boozy night, the night before, and you go out and your body just wants, like, give me the carbs, the fast stuff, the sandwiches, you know, the chips, that's because your satiety hormones are all buggered up because of your lack of sleep from the night before. And also, if you've been drinking a lot of alcohol, your blood sugar levels are all over the shop, so that doesn't help as well. You'll find you might feel more brain foggy. I used to be hyper organized, and not anymore, but I've set up systems that help me with it. And when I forget something, or I mess up my words, which is a very regular occurrence, so what? It's how I am. I've got 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, so I'm incredibly grateful. I'm old enough to have gone through the menopause. Again, I'm incredibly grateful. Sometimes we just have to stop bashing ourselves and just go with the flow, ride that wave. The brain fog does, some days are better than others. Just set yourself up, get organized with systems at home that support you, get a calendar that pings at you to remind you things, put reminders on your phone. I use Trello. It's a free app, Trello, free app. I've got a whole tutorial playlist on my YouTube. If you want to find it, just go and have a look on my channel. It's there as a playlist. I run my entire business, both my businesses, I run my entire life on Trello. It's super helpful. But to help you with brain fog, again, prioritize your sleep, eat fatty fish. If you're vegan, make sure you're getting plenty of omega-3s in your chia seeds and the other things that you might eat, seeds and nuts, stuff like that. Make sure it's much harder to get the right omega-3s when you are vegan, when you're not eating meat. So really make sure you're getting the right amount, because that will help you with your brain fog. Reduce alcohol, because that makes it worse. There's a great book that I read by Dr. Lisa Mosconi called Brain Food, The Surprising Science of Eating for Cognitive Power. I think that's it. It's excellent, and if you read it, it will make you change a few things. It's one of the best books I've read for a long time. So with testing, it's very difficult because, like I mentioned earlier, perimenopause, it's like this. It's easy to test once you've gone through the menopause. They can confirm that you've actually gone through the menopause and beyond. But perimenopause, your levels are all over the shop. So there isn't really a test to prove it. So the best way to sort of work out, you know, are you perimenopausal? Ask yourself these questions. First of all, do you fall roughly within the average age group? How do you compare to the other women in your life? You know, if they've gone through it at a similar stage to what you think you're going through it, they may not actually have been aware that they were going through perimenopause, because there's so much more evidence on it now and information about it. If back in the day, maybe that wasn't around, so maybe they weren't entirely sure. But it is worth asking. And also, are your periods changing? Are they becoming more erratic? Like I said earlier, if you're getting very suddenly heavy periods for a prolonged period of time, just go and get those checked up. Things like low thyroid, low levels of vitamin D, low iron, excuse me, low B12 can also contribute to menopause type symptoms. So, you know, it might be worth getting those checked up, particularly if you have like again, a family history of low iron or low vitamin D or thyroid problems. So yeah, I mean, on the whole, that's pretty much it. It's a matter, it really is if you feel that things are changing in your life and you're around the sort of mid-30s and beyond, it could well be perimenopause, and there's nothing to fear. It can be a bit challenging, but life's challenging anyway. You can set yourself up with healthy lifestyle tips. Keep yourself healthy, do your fitness, use food as fuel, prioritize your sleep, drink loads of water, and take time for yourself. If you can manage your stress levels, that's going to have a big impact on belly fat, because belly fat is largely a result of how we respond to stress. Stress is always going to be out there, it's how we respond to it. So it's about getting ninja at coming up with effective methods for you. We all respond differently to different things. So I hope that has been helpful. Please give it a thumbs up and follow me if you don't already. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube so you don't miss out on future Menopause Mondays. And if you've got anything you'd like me to include in a future episode, just send me a message. I'll be more than happy to oblige and add your question to the list. It all can remain completely anonymous. Don't worry, I'm not going to shout you out if you want to remain anonymous. I will put the link to the healthy breathing guide below. And like I say, if you're watching this on either Facebook or Instagram, pop to my Instagram and go to the link in my bio, free resources. And there's loads of free resources in there. Just help yourself, all sorts of different things. So hopefully that you'll find them helpful. So thank you for your company. I hope it's been helpful for you. And I will stay safe. And I will catch you very soon.